Okay, welcome back. This is another video on the IBM XT operating system that I'm building with AI. This is an operating system, if you haven't been following the series, that should run on an IBM XT with 4.77 megahertz and a VGA card. I know that's a rare configuration, so I'm probably going to do a Hercules and monochrome version of this. But for now, this is running in an emulator, and you can test it out at os8088.com in the browser, so you can see the progress so far. Now, in this video, I am going to be doing an addition, and instead of using Claude Code, I am going to be using Codex. And I am going to be using Codex with dangerously bypass approvals and sandbox in YOLO mode. This is just like I use Anthropic's Claude Code. However, I've never given Codex this many permissions over my computer. But the project I'm doing in this video is constrained enough that I think it should be safe. And I've had pretty good luck with the latest models. Anyway, they don't necessarily go as crazy on you as the earlier models. All right, so I am using GPT 5.6 Sol on high reasoning, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the following. We're gonna I want you to add a clock that is visible on the top right corner of the top bar on this operating system. When clicked, I want you to drop down and keep on the screen the well, I don't know if I want to drop down. Do I want to drop down? I want you to open a clock management control panel where I can set the current date and time. If the computer has a real time clock, I want the clock to read the current date and time from the real-time clock, the hardware RTC. If there isn't a real-time clock available, set the date to July 4th, 2026. Sure, why not? And let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this off and see how far it goes. All right, so it's working. And usually I'll trace the top bar UI, input event flow, and existing hardware abstractions first. I'll use July 4th at as the no RTC fallback, then wire the displayed clock and a daytime control panel into the salvage UI patterns. All right, cool. So there is an existing control panel you can open and add a clock management section 2. When the control panel opens, you should have the clock page control panel selected and displayed when coming from the clock. Click, clock, click. All right, so I'm gonna have this run, and then we'll check in on it as soon as it's finished. All right, so that was pretty fast. So it implemented the system clock and daytime controls with all of these. It's top right clock. Clicking it opens and fronts the existing control panel with date and time selected. Date and time fields are selectable and adjusted with plus minus. Hardware RTC is read at boot and updated after changes. The fallback is implemented, and it updated all these things, including the spec. And what else? Clean 8086 enforced build. Okay, it validated, exposes an RTC, so the RTC last branch was validated through build code inspection rather. Okay, cool. All right, so let's try it out and see what happens. And it just took 15 minutes, so that is fast. That is really fast. So maybe we'll have more versus. Let me know in the comments if you want to see comparisons between Claude Code and OpenAI's Codex, and the different models building the same exact thing, and then and seeing the results. Because I'm thinking that Codex might be faster in some cases, but I know that Claude Code is more thorough. So let's see. Let's boot this up. This is the XT machine with 256 kilobytes of RAM, and I'm not sure. I think this should have a real-time clock in it, but I'm not sure. We'll see. It is currently July 30th, 2026, 1:33 p.m. Let's see if this, and why is it taking so long to load? Look at that. It doesn't have the right time. 7/4/2026. So definitely, so I have to choose one. So this is July 30th. And this is currently 13:34. And I think I need to be able to set the, well, maybe military time is fine for now. Oh, look at that. That's cut off. So we need to fix that. So now we go here, 13:34. All right, cool. So we have a running clock. All right, let me fix the control panel spacing there. All right, you know what? Why don't we just, we now see what Codex can do. It didn't quite, this UI is okay. I'm not impressed here. So let's give Claude Code a shot, okay? With Opus 5. Let me set that up, and then we'll give a comparison here. All right, so this is now with Claude Code and Opus 5, and I gave it the same exact prompt. I want you to add a clock, blah, 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 with the default time and everything. So let's see how long Opus 5 takes to build this out, and then we'll compare the experience. That's really what I'm looking for, is like which one was able to identify the bugs and fix them without me actually interacting with it. So we know that Codex was able to build it, but the control panel spacing was off. The UI was very primitive, and it didn't do AM PM. So let's see if this model, the Opus 5 model, does a better job at kind of like thinking about those user-friendly touches, um, and see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video here, and we'll pick up with the power of editing in a few seconds. All right, moment of truth. So Opus took 31 minutes, and let's see here is we now have a menu bar clock redrawn once a second by the UI task and repainted by every WM paint call. All right. Maybe we don't want to have every second. Maybe minutes is enough so that we don't have to see that flashing. A new kernel module. Okay. The system clock. It probes the hardware RTC at boot via int 1a. And if it fails, it'll default to that July 4th, 2026 date. Very patriotic. And the probe is deliberately paranoid because an XT class BIOS may just iret out of an unimplemented function. Okay, that's good. CXDX are poisoned. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure the AI knows better than me. After boot, the pit is the clock, carrying through month lengths and leaps Februaries. Okay. Control panel, daytime, a fourth control item, 2 rows of fields. Click 1 to select it, plus minus to step it. Okay, same approach, but let's see how it implemented the UI. One thing I hardened beyond the ask. WM Paint All can run on a dying background task inside WM, so a reader could be preemptive mid-format while the UI task, each carrying a right. I have no idea what that means. I could ask, but I'm not going to. And it verified in QEMU. Kernel is 27K. The binding text plus fart text guard leaves 17K free. Blah, blah, blah. 2 things I did not touch, so you know, the built-in clock app still counts from 0000. Okay. It's a stopwatch, not a wall clock. Say the word and I'll read it from the system clock. Do I want to do that? I think the clock app is going to have to turn into something like the analog clock or something like that from Windows. All right, so enough blabbering. Let me go ahead and test this out. So we're going to run make XT again. And this is going to load up our XT, our emulated XT with 256 kilobytes of RAM, our trusty XT from 1982. And almost there. So when this boots, it's going to, all right, so let's see here. We have, welcome to OS 8088. It's loading. And we are now in the operating system. All right, July 4th, 2026, 000000008. All right, so I think definitely we don't want to have the flashing seconds. So I think that's one of the first things that we're gonna change. I'm gonna click on it and see what happens. I'm gonna click on it, and now this loads up. We have date time. I do like that there's a little bit of an indent here, and it starts with July 4th, 2026. It only has so this is like, it's 2:24 p.m. right now, so that means that it's gonna go up to 14. All right, and then this is July 30. All right, 2026. All right, so and look, it made space here, so it definitely did a better job than Codex. All right, so I like that. I think I'm gonna keep this one, but I want to be able to show military and regular and 12-hour clocks. So let me go ahead and make that change. I'm gonna go over here and okay, add a setting to the control panel to allow us to change between 12-hour and 24-hour time displays. When showing the time, do not show the seconds. Well, make displaying the seconds in the clock optional. Default to not showing seconds in order to minimize the flashing. Add setting to the control panel. Okay, there you go. All right, so we're gonna do that. Let it run, and then we'll check it out again. With the magic of editing, we'll be back in 1 second. All right, so that took another 18 minutes. So let's go ahead and run this. It says that it changed everything. It changed the change to have the control, the 12-hour and 24-hour clock, and also made the seconds optional. So let me just go ahead and run make XT. And this is the XT again. All right, and we're booted. So now you see here that you have July 4th, 2026, 00000. So if I go here, Now I can set, I see how the clock is moving here. I can set it to a 12-hour clock, and I can move this individually, which is nice. 3:06 p.m. and it is July 30th, 2026. And I can change it so that the seconds show up. But now if the seconds don't show up, they will not show, they will not flash. So 3:06, in about 10 seconds, I should see the clock up there move to 3:07. So let me close this, and in about a few seconds, I should see 3:07. So let's see. And there you go. It changed to 3:07. Cool. So that works now. If I go to the control panel again, I have the clock set over here, and I like this implementation much better. So I'm going to go ahead and push this and make a release. And now we have a clock in the operating system. All right. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe. I have a bunch of stuff coming up and some interesting modern twists that I just thought of. I'm going to add an AI assistant to this. So I know it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a weird thing to add to an XT, but I have some ideas that might make this kind of a nice alternative to a terminal. We'll still have a terminal at some point, but having some kind of assistant built in, maybe not AI at first, but an assistant at first, might be a cool thing to try out. All right, well, keep watching and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, thank you.